Welcome to Summerwind, what is supposedly one of the most haunted locations in Wisconsin, if not the most haunted location in Wisconsin. I am glad to tell everybody that we made it here. It might not look like much today, but this is a location that is infamous in the paranormal world. We are with Fox Valley Ghost Hunters and the founder of Fox Valley Ghost Hunters, Craig. He will be talking to us about the history of this location, and this will be more of a documentary type of video than a ghost hunting or paranormal investigation like we normally do. If you want to know anything about the Fox Valley Ghost Hunters, the link will be down in the description.
Dating back to 1914. I actually found a newspaper article that had the mansion on it, a lot smaller at the time, and it was a fishing lodge. It said you could come in off the lake and enjoy the comforts of the lodge for only $5. That's how much it was to stay here back in 1914. 1916, Robert Patterson Lamont bought the property. He was Secretary of Commerce under Hoover, who is rumored to have stayed here, but we do not have any physical proof that they stayed here. They possibly could have stayed here. Robert Patterson Lamont made it into a much bigger structure, added to it. Supposedly, you can call it a mansion in those days, but in the days now, there's way bigger places than what this was. Supposedly, it had 32 rooms, is what I'm told, but are they counting closets? Are they counting? I'm not sure what they're all counting. So, supposedly had 32 rooms. Maybe that included the servants' quarters that was over there, and there's one more like living quarters off there in a garage too. So, who's that? Is that Sam? Oh, Sam. Okay, I'm like, I hear noises. It's ghosts already. So Robert Patterson Lamont never believed in ghosts. His servants would always tell him that the place was haunted, saying that they would see things, and he didn't believe it. He actually pulled out a black powder pistol, fired 3 shots at a ghost when it came through the foyer doors, of course not hitting anything. Those bullet holes actually remained in the door for all the way till it burned down. There's pictures of it in the 1980s and stuff. So he fled the property, did not want anything to do with the property anymore. They left. I know Summerwind changed hands zillions of times. You know some of the people that it was for the years, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't know a whole lot about who it was all through, but a lot of people that had the property couldn't make a go of it. It's like they called it the cursed property. So when Hinshaws moved in, I'd say in the 70s, and they were having problems with the property as far as seeing flickering lights, shadows. Now, if you read the book, which you guys have that anymore? Okay. There's a book called The Carver Effect, and it goes through all the different things that happened on the property, from cars starting on fire to windows opening and closing. When they tried to get people to come in and work on the house and stuff, the dimensions of the room would change. So one room, they'd measure it one day, it would be one dimension, and measure the next day, it'd be a different dimension. Now, I should say that the Kiefer family had it also, and they're the ones that actually had, for some reason, she kept selling the property to somebody else. Like it went from the Hinshaws even to the current owners, but she still had the property all through the years. So every time she sold it, for some reason, she still kept on. It's like she must have been making lots of money, but then everybody moved out and she kept that money and then went on to the next people that moved in. So the Hinshaws, when they had it, when they first got into the place and they started seeing all this stuff, they did find a nook and cranny that they had their younger daughter, April Hinshaw, crawl into that nook and cranny. Now, if you read about Summerwind, you might have read about this. When she crawled in, she saw a corpse with black hair dangling off the skull inside this little crawl space, because she was the only one that could get in. She screamed and came back out, but I guess later on review, that corpse was gone and they never called the police. So I have been in touch with April Hinshaw. She denies pretty much 90% of what happened. She will not talk to anybody without an attorney present, so it's weird. We don't know what actually went on. We know that this place has some hauntings involved in it, but we don't know the depth of it, because she's saying that she denies a lot of what happened. I think they kind of built it up, got a book, made a lot of money on it, or made a decent amount of money on it. Not sure what happened and what didn't happen. It's hard to tell without actually talking to her. So, other things that happened while we were there. Now, Arnold Hinshaw, which actually wasn't his real name. What was his real name? I can't remember now. Do you remember? I've mentioned it a couple times. He actually changed his name for the book. It's something else. I think it's Jack or something. He did pass away recently, and both of them are gone now. April Hinshaw. At one point, he had an organ in the house, and he would play the organ to all hours of the night. And because he said the ghosts made him play, otherwise they were going to get mad. Rumor, and then again I heard that this is not true either now, that Ginger Hinshaw tried to commit suicide, and Arnold Hinshaw went crazy and was like committed. But now I'm hearing conflicting reports on all that too. So again, from April Hinshaw and others, that never happened. I do not know. Good if somebody can actually dig in and actually find the real truth, but it's hard.
He became possessed.
Yeah, that's what they said, or something was weird, and he got committed. So they kind of said that they weren't going to deal with the property anymore. And again, it's still under the keeper residence. So brother-in-law, Raymond Von Bober, who went Raymond Bober, but actually had Raymond Von Bober for the book, was his pen name. He came up from Chicago, was the brother-in-law, wanted to turn Summerwind into a haunted bed and breakfast. But he was starting to have the same problems as they had, everything from lights flickering, shadows. But he had a dream, and an English explorer, Jonathan Carver, came to him in his dream and said that he had a deed to 1/3 of northern Wisconsin that is buried somewhere in the foundation. Now with that deed, he said the ghost of Jonathan Carver came to him in his dream and told him he needed to find that deed in order for the house to stay at rest, in order for the ghost to go away. So he searched for that deed. I did go through Jonathan Carver's journals throughout the years. He never made it this far north. But, like you were saying, he did have a deed. Supposedly, someone said that the deed is in a museum in England, which I cannot verify either. So, there is no deed on the property buried here other than some friends of mine that used to live next door that buried a fake deed in there. That might be about the only thing. So, again, like I said, this was Lilac Hills for a long time. And Raymond Von Bober walked out to the end of the driveway one day. He was walking out on the gravel road out there and tripped on something that was on the ground. He picked it up and it said Summerwind. That's when he changed the name to Summerwind. You'll find it listed under Summerwind. You'll find it listed under, you won't find much under Lilac Hills anymore. But there's lilac trees that's on the other side there. That's why it was called Lilac Hills. And there's even one just on the way down here. But you won't find it listed as Lilac. You'll find it as Summerwind or the Lamont Mansion. If you actually Google Lamont Mansion, it will come up on Google with the directions to get here. So if anybody got lost, you can get here again. But like you said, it takes you a different. Some people end up over there.
Yep.
It's hard when people say, "Do you have a fire number?" Well, there is no fire number anymore because it burned down. I think the closest fire number that I could find was 7124 Helen Creek Road, because Helen Creek Road used to go all the way through to here, I believe. I don't know, but if you do 7124 Helen Creek Road, it brings you right to the driveway next to this for some reason on the Google Maps. So back to the Hinshaws. So when Arnold Hinshaw was Raymond Von Bober was trying to make it into something, and he had that dream about the deed, he kind of gave up after a while, couldn't find anything, and through the years, if you see all the nooks and crannies down there, all the bricks and stuff that are missing from underneath, that's people still digging under the property that hopes that they will find that deed. So a lot of it's getting vandalized just from people looking for that deed, still to this day. So Raymond Von Bober decided it's not going to work for him, so he gave up on it. Wrote a book called The Carver Effect, which is very hard to find. In fact, most of the libraries don't even carry it anymore. It's stolen or missing. I got lucky. I got 2 copies. I got one autographed by Von Bober Jr., and then I got another one that a friend of mine passed away. He used to love Summerwind. He even had the Summerwind Mansion tattooed on his arm. And he passed away, and I found in his collection the old autograph by the original Von Bober. Carver effect, which can go online from anywhere from $300 to, I've seen it for $3,000. What did you guys say you found it for?
200.
200? That's not too bad.
But it's not autographed.
Not autographed, yeah. So I don't know what, I'm not selling mine regardless, it don't matter. I'm keeping it. Somebody can offer me $5,000 or won't sell it. So I got the original shutters from the house too, in my garage.
How'd you steal them?
No. The guy, before it burned down, took them off the house. So the next door neighbor took them off the house before it was burned down. So, he gave them to me, and that night was, you weren't there. But that night, but I keep thinking you were there, but you weren't. But
It was Krista.
Christy, right?
Krista.
Yeah. So that night was crazy. He handed me the shutters up here, put them in my truck, or in the car that I was riding in. On the way back to our hotel, something grabbed my leg in the back seat. It was bad. I thought it was somebody playing a trick on me. It wasn't. Nobody was there. I said, something just grabbed my leg. We get there. We turn off the car to go in the hotel, and she's like, something's in my car. You could hear things moving around the car. We had to sage the entire car and tell whatever was in there to get out of it. I think it was attached to the shutters.
Yeah, that's
They're in my garage now. I haven't had any problems, so we're good. I think we got rid of it. So, after the Hinshaws and everything, and after Von Bober had it, in 1986, there was a husband and wife from Illinois. The wife told her husband, I want something different for summer, or I want something different for my anniversary. So what does the husband come back with? The deed to Summerwind. And that was 1986. And the house was, and I'm going to step back a little bit, that was 1986, but in 1980, it appeared in Time Life magazine. You can still get that magazine online if you go to, like, I think Amazon or other places. I've got mine for $5 off Amazon. It has Walter Cronkite on the front cover and the top 10 haunted places in the United States. Summerwind appears in here, in the article, in the big Time Life magazine that's like this thick. You brought one tonight. Anyway, so jumping back to
1986.
1986, thank you. So jumping back to 1986, when the husband brought the deed back for his wife, the property again was in ruins. It was pretty much, you couldn't live there. I heard the attic was so full of bat crap that it was like this thick on the floor. It was pretty bad. But structurally, it was still okay. I mean, they wanted to try to rebuild it and make it into something. And they told me some cool stories, like when they'd stay back on the property back here in a trailer, and they'd walk up to the house in the moonlight, and they said some nights in the moonlight you could see the house, that it was breathing, like it had a life. It would exhale and inhale. They said it creeped them out. But they still wanted to do something. I think through the years, even with Von Bober, he wanted to turn it into a bed and breakfast. They wanted to turn it into a bed and breakfast, but 1988, on Father's Day, lightning struck the place twice and it burned to the ground. So their dream was kind of gone after that. And they've had it through the years. I met them a couple times. One of the owners had a stroke, so she's not doing so hot. And two other owners are from Illinois, and of course it's for sale. I've been offered to buy it multiple times, but just, I don't have that type of money. Anybody want to go halves? I'm willing. We've tried through the years. We've come very close to rebuilding. We've even had the Travel Channel interested. We had a producer, Jeff Belanger, if anybody, he does tons and tons of ghost hunting shows. In fact, he'll be at our conference at our school in September. And he actually put a contract out to try to get someone to rebuild the mansion, ghosts and all. We did a little, if anybody's on that site, they've probably seen the video that that we did over here. And they were going to make it into a movie. They had 3 parts to the movie. They wanted to do it the rebuilding of Summerwind. Part 2 was the hauntings and all the past owners and other people that had stories about it. And then 3 was the continued tours and haunting of Summerwind. Now their pitch was nobody. No, you got the TV shows Here Comes Honey Boo Boo and all those other crazy shows. No one has ever rebuilt a haunted house. They've moved that house and all that stuff. So they thought it'd be cool. That was their pitch to, no one's ever rebuilt a haunted house. Let's do it and see. The problem was getting someone to back that idea. Nobody wanted to back the idea because it's too risky. So we sat waiting and waiting and waiting, and now with the owner's health deteriorating and stuff, they want to offer the property to somebody. So, trying trying to think of any keynotes. I had a couple books out that I wrote. There's a story of a lady in white. Now, we did the largest ghost hunt here. It was called the world's largest ghost hunt, where ghost hunters unite throughout the entire world and do investigations at all different locations on the same night, live via like Facebook Lives. We were over there. We captured a woman on camera at the top of the stairs there in a white gown, and when we panned in to see her, she floated away. It's pretty cool. It's caught on the world's largest ghost hunt. And that lady in white actually comes into play because throughout the years, people have seen a lady in white. We don't know what it is. There's rumor that back in the day that a husband was having an affair with a younger girl, and she happened to be wearing a white dress and stuff, and somebody was killed. I don't know. That's just stories that go along with it. There was a 90-year-old woman that we talked to multiple times. She was, I believe she has a place on one of the islands on the lake. I'm not sure if she's still alive. She was alive about 2 years ago, and she was about 93 then. And she said when she was a little girl, they rode over here in their boat to go fishing, and she saw a woman in white on the shoreline waving them to come to shore. She didn't know what they wanted, or what the girl wanted. So they came to shore, and the woman directed them up into the, what summer wind was, and went up the stairs. And when the lady went up the stairs, she disappeared into the staircase. The two girls got so scared, they rolled their asses back across the lake. The next day, they were curious and wanted to know more. So, them being not scared anymore, they wanted to see if they could find the lady in white again. Came back over to the lake. This time, she was waving them to go away. Found out the next day that a caretaker here went crazy and tried killing people on the property. So she saved them. But that was the stories from the 90-year-old woman. Other than that, I don't have too much else. Our investigations through the years have had rocks being thrown, random rocks just falling everywhere. I had to look it up to see if birds would drop rocks from, the sky at night for some unknown reason. But we could not figure it out. People were getting tossed with rocks. Our team, they'd land all around us, they'd hit us. They weren't big rocks, they were like pebbles and stuff. So we'd toss a rock back into the foundation, a rock would come back. So, weird EVPs from here was one that says, "Damn it, I'm being bad." Ghosts talking about it being cold here. We get names up here. When I ask who's out here, they'll say ghosts. One called me an asshole when I got scared by a deer. I was walking down there and I saw a deer pop up, and then on the audio recorder I get, "You're an asshole." So, which is common from around here. They're always calling us names. But they also, we were down under the porch about 4 years back, and one of the ghosts says, "I love Craig." Oh, okay. And one other one on the EVP early on said, "Little girl dead is your friend." So, I got a friend that's a little girl.
Midnight Paranormal Files, we are back, and guess where we are this time? The most famous haunted spot in Wisconsin, Summerwind, also known as the Lamont Mansion. This place has so much lore to it that it's just been talked about for years. There's books written about it, documentaries, you name it. And we're here this week. We sat in on a group investigation. There's been quite a bit of evidence today. Now we're getting our chance to have 2 hours of time to investigate for ourselves. Stay tuned and check out and see what we get. If there's anything here with us, can you come to the spirit box? Or light up the EMF? So far we've had a couple of EMF spikes over here on this radiator. We were a little wondering if it was something else. We're going to set it down on this rock right here. I don't know, I got a feeling about this rock. Let's see what we can get. We have one other device with us this weekend that we can try. Let's try a voice recorder session.
I want to turn that off.
We got an EMF spike going on. Thank you. I'll turn this back on. You want to communicate through this?
Okay, stop using the EMF now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to use the spirit box, light it up again. Was that you from earlier that lit up the or was that you from earlier that was lighting up all the stuff upstairs? If so, okay. We're gonna have you talk into the speaker here. for this device so we can communicate with you. What's your name? Was this your house or did you work here? Are you Jonathan Carver?
By the way, there are still people here for people who are watching this, so if you do hear a little talking in the background, just want to let you know that.
Can you tell me what my name is? Was this your house or did you work here? You can see these holes in the walls. So the story of this place is that Jonathan Carver wanted to find a deed to his land. And supposedly it was buried here. People have been coming here for years trying to find it, unsuccessfully. They've been digging in the walls. So right now we're on top of where we were before. This is what I believe was part of the balcony, I want to say. We're going to try it up here and see what happens.
Now, beyond these woods, this was a balcony basically, and there's a lake down there.
After all these years that this place has sat abandoned, these trees have grown up and you can't even see the lake anymore. This is West Bay Lake. We're gonna move on now. We might go down into where the ruins are down there and check out down there. The car is down in the ruins of the house itself. Basically where all the fireplaces were, pipes, and what appears to be a furnace. We're gonna try down here and see if we get anything. Talking a little bit quiet because I don't want to disturb anybody else doing their investigations. Can you light up the EMF again? You were doing a real good job at that earlier. This is Robert Wilmot, light up the EMF. Can you knock on the chimney or break a stick around us?